Imagine this. You're standing outside on a quiet morning with one of our In the Shadows coffee in hand, scanning the horizon. Suddenly, the sirens wail, radar dashes spin, and the skies above Britain lighten up. Inbound threats, missiles, drones, or worse, streaking towards our shores. It's not a Hollywood film. It's a question that's becoming more real every passing year. Is the United Kingdom actually prepared for a missile attack? Today, we're going to be breaking it down. We'll look at what the threats are, what systems we currently have, where the gaps are, and whether this country, our country, could withstand a modern missile attack if it ever came. Let's get into it. When we talk about a missile strike, we're not just talking about a nuclear ICBM. Like in the old Cold War, the modern missile threat is much more complex. There are several types. Ballistic missiles, launching high into the atmosphere before re-entering at hypersonic speed. Cruise missiles, which fly low and fast, hugging the terrain to avoid detection. Hypersonic glide vehicles, cutting-edge weapons moving at 5 times the speed of sound and manoeuvring mid-flight, near impossible to stop. And finally, saturation attacks, waves of drones, cruise missiles, and decoys launched to overwhelm defences. The truth is, this is the reality of modern warfare. The Ukraine conflict has shown us that long-range precision strikes are no longer theoretical. They are routine. Russia fires cruise missiles at cities hundreds of miles from the front line. Iran fires volleys of drones and rockets at Israel. And Britain, we sit in the middle of all of that. A key NATO power, home to allied bases, nuclear submarines, and the political nerve centre of Western Europe. That makes us a target, whether we like it or not. Defence analysts have warned repeatedly the UK is vulnerable. As one expert put it, Britain remains a soft and tempting target. And they're not wrong. Picture this, a hostile nation, let's say Russia or another adversary, launches a coordinated attack, a salvo of cruise missiles launched from submarines in the North Sea and targets power stations, radar sites, and military command centres. Minutes later, ballistic missiles striking from thousands of miles away. Meanwhile, drones jam communications, GPS goes dark, and air defence networks are flooded with false contacts. From launch to impact, Britain might have less than 15 minutes to react. That's it, 15 minutes to detect, identify, intercept, and respond. Or you could face catastrophic losses. It's brutal, but it's the hard truth. Let's strip it back and look at what's on the ground right now, or more accurately, in the air and sea. At the heart of the UK's missile warning network stands RAF Flyingdales, a name every British veteran and defence analyst knows well. Royal Air Force Flyingdales sits atop Snod Hill in the North York Moors, England. Its motto, "We are watching." And it's not poetic, it's literal. Flyingdales is one of the most critical radar stations in Western world. It was originally part of the ballistic missile early warning system during the Cold War, the system that would trigger the so-called 4-minute warning if Soviet missiles were inbound. Today, it forms part of the solid-state phased array radar system, a cutting-edge radar network capable of detecting missile launches and tracking orbiting objects in space. Its data is shared under intelligence agreements between the UK and the United States, most notably the UK-USA agreement, which underpins the Five Eyes intelligence network. So every second of every day, Flyingdales scans the skies, feeding data back to London and Washington, warning of any potential missile launch worldwide. It also has a secondary mission, tracking space debris and satellites as part of the United States Space Surveillance Network. In short, Flyingdales is the eye in the sky. It's our first line of defence. But remember, detection isn't interception. Spotting a missile doesn't stop it. So what happens if a hostile missile is detected? Currently, Britain, we rely heavily on the Royal Navy, British Army and RAF systems. The Type 45 destroyers of the Royal Navy are one of our strongest cards. Each is equipped with the Sea Viper air defence system, capable of shooting down fast-moving aircraft and some ballistic threats. But there are only 6 of these destroyers, and they can't be everywhere at once. On land, the British Army operates the Sky Sabre system, a mobile, ground-based air defence missile designed to intercept aircraft, drones and some guided munitions. It's a solid system, Modern, vastly superior to the old Rapier units it replaced, but it's still short range. It can't cover the entire country, and it's not built for hypersonic or long-range ballistic missiles. The RAF, they contribute with their Typhoon fighters, capable of intercepting cruise missiles under certain conditions, but only if they can find them in time. All these systems are good, very good, but they form a patchwork, not a fortress. On the plus side, the UK doesn't stand alone. We are part of NATO's integrated air and missile defence network, a vast array of sensors, satellites, radars and command centres spread across Europe. Data from Flyndales and allied assets feeds into a collective shield. That means if a missile is detected heading towards the UK, the warning might come from a Norwegian radar, an American satellite or a Polish command post, all feeding into one network. It's teamwork on a continental scale. But as experts admit, NATO's system is still optimised for small-scale regional threats, not for a full-blown multi-vectile missile barrage. Now let's talk about what really keeps Britain safe, the ultimate deterrent. Deep beneath the waves, moving silently through the world's oceans, are the Vanguard-class submarines, the backbone of the UK's nuclear deterrence. Each submarine carries Trident II D5 nuclear missiles, capable of striking targets thousands of miles away with pinpoint accuracy. At least one Vanguard submarine is always on patrol, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is called continuous at-sea deterrent, a policy that's been active since 1969. The idea is simple. No matter what happens, even if Britain were attacked, one submarine would always survive to strike back. It's our insurance policy, the unblinking deterrent that tells every potential enemy, if you strike us, we will strike back. So while we might lack that physical missile shield, like Israel, or what the United States have, our nuclear deterrent remains the cornerstone of national security. It doesn't stop an attack, but it does make launching one a suicide mission for anyone foolish enough to try. Now let's talk the uncomfortable part. Britain has detection. We have limited interception. We have nuclear deterrence, but we don't have a missile national shield. Unlike Israel's Iron Dome, we have no layered homeland defence system capable of shooting down multiple income missiles at once. Experts have called our defences very limited, to the point of being negligible when faced with a mass attack. And they're right. Our current systems were built for regional conflicts, not for modern global warfare. If several cruise missiles or hypersonics were launched from different directions at once, there's a very strong chance that at least some would hit their targets. Even Parliament's own research paper admits the UK does not currently possess the capability to defend against a concentrated ballistic missile attack. That's not an opinion, that's official. Even if the military systems worked, there's another question. How ready is the country itself? During the Cold War, Britain had civil defence plans, sirens, bunkers, fallout drills. Today, practically none. There's no national warning app for missile attacks, no public shelters, no civilian training. The Strategic Defence Review 2025 acknowledges this gap, urging the government to build national preparedness and resilience. But so far, it's mostly talk. So if the unimaginable happened tomorrow, ordinary people would have no idea what to do. When Iran fired over 300 missiles and drones at Israel in 2024, over 99% were intercepted. Why? Because Israel's defences were layered. Iron Dome for short range, David Sling for medium range, and Arrow 3 for ballistic threats. That's what it looks like when a country takes missile defence seriously. Now compare that to Britain. Even if 10 missiles were fired our way, we'd be relying on naval assets, RAF jets and luck. We don't have the redundancy, coverage or quantity to handle a saturation attack. And we're not alone. Much of Europe is in the same position. That is why the UK is looking to explore and join the European Sky Shield Initiative to create a shared continental missile defence network. It's a smart move, but it's years away from being fully operational. What does it mean to be prepared? Detection, see the threat coming. Interception, stopping it mid-air. Resilience, rebuilding if some get through. Deterrence, making sure nobody wants to attack us in the first place. Integration, linking every radar, jet and missile into one coordinated shield. Britain is strong in the first and last, detection and deterrence, but interception and resilience, That's where the cracks show. So is the UK prepared? In simple terms, partially yes, but not enough. We have the brains, we have the allies, the radar and the submarines, but we don't have enough interceptors. We don't have a full homeland shield, and we don't have a population that is prepared for what a real missile crisis would look like. If the UK was hit with a small, isolated attack, we could probably defend it, but a coordinated multi-vector strike, we'd be relying on NATO and our nuclear deterrent, not our own defences. If Britain wants to be truly ready, here's what needs to happen. Accelerate investment in air and missile defence systems. No more waiting for 2025. Expand Sky Sabre into a nationwide network. Upgrade our Type 45 destroyers with full ballistic missile interceptor capability. Strengthen civil defence, public alerts, shelters, resilience planning. Stay ahead of tech, hypersonic detection, AI-driven radar, rapid response interceptors. Work closer with allies through NATO and European Sky Shield Initiative. Because in the next decade, it's not a question if missile threats increase, it's when. So, is the UK prepared for a missile strike? The honest answer, no, not yet. We're aware, we're capable, and we're investing, but we're not ready for a large-scale attack. Our early warning radar RAF Flyindales keeps watching day and night, scanning the skies. Our Type 45 destroyers and Sky Sabre batteries provide a limited shield, and our Vanguard-class submarines, armed with the Trident missiles, ensured that if anyone ever dared to strike Britain, they'd pay the ultimate price. That's the balance of power, that's deterrence. But deterrence isn't defence, and defence without readiness is just hope. Remember, stay alert, stay resilient, and as always, never be beaten. Thanks for watching.